Hello, Penitent Malleus. Welcome to your deck review. I see today what we're trying to do is a human revolution. So no kings, no queens. I'm assuming that means no lord effects. So we wanted to make it feel like, okay, human solidarity. That doesn't matter. Human solidarity, people rising up and supporting each other through violent revolution. No aristocrats. We don't sacrifice others, but we may sacrifice ourselves. Okay, I like that. Omen Pass instead of Spider-Man. We like things that share abilities amongst our board. So what do we currently have? Okay, we can spread some keywords around. We can spread some keywords around. We can spread some keywords around. Dope. And then we have Find the Revolutionaries. Knight's Whisper next to Imperial Recruiter and a Recruiter of the Guard is going to give me a headache. Frankly, off rip, I worry about your deck being able to cash the check that having multiple tutors is writing, but we will see. We will see if you can, and you at least don't have the game changer tutors. Flavor, a 2/1, a 3-mana 2/1 with Dethrone. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I'm worried. For the cause, okay, so we have sacrifice to give our board indestructible, sacrifice to give one thing that's already got a counter on it indestructible. That's really bad. Wow. That's also really bad. We can only hit a legendary. Okay. Good morning, Brian Thompson. I like Devout Chaplain if we're gonna go wide with humans, because then this is like repeatable fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay. We gotta talk about dire tactics, especially as it relates to playing playing Imperial Recruiter. This is another card where it's like Swords to Plowshares is right there. Path to Exile is right there. Fatal Push is right there. We are playing, if we are in the business of playing worse cards on purpose because they say human on them, those decks tend to have a worse time navigating the tutor conversation. That's all I'll say about it. I'm fine with tutors. If your pod is fine with tutors, don't worry about it. This is for a gen pop table. Tables that tend to be like, oh yeah, tutors are great, are not the tables that are like, I'm playing a removal spell that costs twice as much because it lets me go, hee hee hoo hoo, I have a human. Horn of Gondor is solid. Ramp is sure. Yeah, sure. Reanimation. I like this Alesha much more than your commander. Call of the Death Dweller. Yeah, that works. Then Doomed Necromancer, okay. And then Raise the Past, sure. Oof. Alright. Human Revolution is one thing. Limiting most of our deck to 2 mana or less is another thing. We can overcome doing Mardu humans. That's just a good, solid strategy. Mardu humans that all cost 2 or less. That is a very, very underfunded revolution. Like that's a South American election without the CIA getting involved. Okay. Alright, if it was a second spell, put a counter on a creature, that's something. A 2-mana 1/1, but pro creatures. Okay, so we have Lenny, the Eternal Blocker. 1/2 with double strike trample, 2/1 with backup 1, a 1/2 that's very bad, a 1/1 with death touch, a 1/1 with menace. Oh lord. Okay. Okay. Stronger together. Alright, this is going to be the section that I think makes or breaks the deck. We 100% have to stack up power toughness benefits. Mm. The fucking. Oh man. Okay, okay. I don't love +1/+0. +2/+0 I also don't love. Haunted One, Undying I like. Haunted One is okay in my book. Raymond is much, much better. Uh, this is just bad. I mean, you get a 7/7 indestructible, but Tajik doesn't solve our main problem, which is, oh shit, oh fuck, the rest of my board has died because I swung a bunch of 1/1s at people. Bastion's just straight awful for this deck, because if we were doing an Aristocrat strategy, I think we could have Bastion of Remembrance in here. Wow, okay. So there's two directions we can take to make doing the thing happen a little bit more. The two directions you can take are you switch to a different Mardu Humans commander and free yourself of the 2 mana restriction. Oh, we're doing the 2 mana restriction and the 2 power restriction. That's a lot of handcuffing. Yeah, okay. 3 paths. 3 paths. I think you have to kick one of the restrictions off if you want this deck to work well. I'm just going to define well as better than it currently does, because the way that Alesha typically makes her money is she reanimates things with power 2 or less that are like very good utility creatures. Very good utility creatures with power 2 or less are not creatures that are mana value 2 or less. And I think we have tried too hard to make Raise the Past a good card, or to make Call of the Death Dweller a good card. And so if I go into a playtest, I'm pretty sure we just gas out relatively quickly. Right, 3 paths. Let's finish the 3 paths. So you can buck the power restriction and play a Mardu commander that is not Alesha. You can buck the mana value restriction, and you can look more into, well, do we have any humans that can do this? God, we have a kindred restriction on top of this. Human. Mardu, power less than or equal to 2. We have Aristocrats pieces. We have Adeline, which I think a knight could lead a revolution. That was how like most revolutions happened in feudal times. We have Mentor of the Meek. We have a Diplomat, which doesn't really feel good for revolution. We have a Yawgmoth that doesn't feel great for revolution. Animpa calls a soldier. Tace is an aristocrat. Youch. Okay. We're definitely missing Inti. Inti's a very good card who should go in this deck no matter what. And I am going to press you, if we're like no kings, no queens. Yeah, people rising up and supporting each other through violent revolution. If you think that doesn't include knights, we are doing revolution, but historically inaccurate. But if we want it to be all proletariat, we can try to make it happen. Okay, we're disqualifying her because she sacrifices stuff that isn't her. Hmm. Okay. In that case, because your options are actually pretty goddamn sparse, I think what you need is more stuff that plays into +1/+1 counters, quite frankly. Like we need more ways for our board to not have a collective power of like 4 by turn 5. I think that's what's going to be killing you in this deck. If you want to have a bunch of little tiny shitheads, that is okay. The little tiny shitheads do have to take steroids. We go, oh no, we'll do hard tap land. Next turn, hard tap land. Next turn. Turn 3, I play a 1/2. Fucking sick. Turn 4. I rip. I swear to God, man, you line up these turns in a fucking police station, they're picking you out every time. Which of these don't match? Tap land, 3 mana 1/2, or the search my deck for anything and put it into my hand? Any enchantment, sorry. I don't know what you actually get here. I think, regrettably, the card that would fix most things for this deck is Cathar's Crusade. With the deck that we have, you probably get Assemble the Players. And then on turn 5, noting, please, the whole time, our commander is yet to be relevant. We can go Assemble the Players. And then we can look at what's on top. It's Greymond. Holy fuck. It's finally going to happen. Okay. So next turn, can we play lands from top with this? We can't. Disgusting. Next turn, we can drop Greymond. That's great. We are 2 humans away from this being viable. Next turn, we haven't hit. What is the concentration? We're turn set. We're dead in the water there. So we have 34 creatures. That should be enough for an Assemble the Player style effect, but it is still relatively weak. Okay, we have a lot of things to fix and not a lot of time to fix them in. So the first thing we need to fix, Stronger Together. It is unsatisfactory for these to be ephemeral. So things like Banners Raised and They Shall Know No Fear, Repel the Abominable. These in my mind, broadly not good enough. We either need, or maybe not focused enough. What you need is you should break this out into 2 tags, and you should have 1 tag that says, this is how I kill you, and 1 tag that is, this is how I don't get killed by you. And if you want to have a couple protection pieces, that's okay, but we need a pretty high concentration of effects like Greymond that are going to make our board able to block, able to attack without being just openly terrified the whole time. Sharing keywords can be a cute little cherry on top. This cannot be plan A, because you have 3 of these cards in the deck and you do not have the card draw necessary to find the keywords that matter, which are Death Touch and First Strike. So I would separate these 2 tags out. Let's go into the Scryfall mines for a moment and see what we've got tagged for this guy. We're looking at Anthem and we're looking at Typal Human. Oh! That's very not good. This is where the three different handcuffs we have put in our deck are going to come and kick us in the ass. So, other things we can do. And this is all going to be different degrees of flexing the gimmick if you want it to be more playable. we can ally with the vampires. She is a liberator. This is dead-ass revolution. 100% on the theme. However, she do have fangs. But this is a very, very good card for any type of combat tempo-driven strategy, just to get to put repeated counters on the attacking creatures you control. If you really don't want to do that, you may have to invest more in equipments that can stack counters up over time. The thing I am most afraid for you right now is like we just don't have a path to making our creatures matter in a realistic time frame. And so stuff that can do it is like the Pip-Boy. This isn't nobility, not a king or queen thing. On attack, you can put a counter on a creature. So if you stick a 1-drop, right, and then by like turn 3, it can be swinging with this. Or if you have that double strike trampler, and we had this on board, and we did like turn 1 this, turn 2 cry, turn 3 play my double striker, turn 4, I can now at least make it a 2/3, which might be able to swing into one person. Then it can become a 3/4, and then, you know, slowly but surely life can begin. I don't think Anduril's Anduril is the right one. Anduril Narsil Reforged is going to be another good one where we can just get counters on the entire board. Another type of effect that can do it, because I know there are some instances that do this. There's a Thunder Junction card. So actually, let's go to Gibbs PP counters, and we want to do it Commander Mardu. Wow. The fuck am I doing? I have to do an actual... Oh shit, that worked. Wow. So here, protection spell I would enjoy more. Unbreakable Formation. This can either protect, or it can power up long term. Felidar Retreat you could also do. I would understand you being like, no, that says cat on it, and cats aren't humans. Sure. I don't think Elspeth is technically nobility. But she do be wearing a tiara, so I would get that if you didn't want to put her in. Otherwise, she would be good to have in Requisition Raid. Piece of interaction that might put a counter on your whole board. There's an Archangel, but we're not really deep into the life gain theme. Guide of Souls. Genuinely. I know he looked kind of stupid. However, he is human. He fits in your mana value restriction. He fits in your power toughness restriction. After you play a couple, you can spend energy to put counters on your most important human, who will probably be Alesha. Sword of Truth and Justice. That feels revolutionary. That feels a little bit revolutionary. And then again, it depends on whether you think clerics and knights count as nobility. If you do, fine. I think we can cobble something together with the +1/+1 counter game plan. If you are okay including any knights or clerics, Inti is an insane motherfucker who will save your deck. Insane motherfucker who will save your deck every single time. We're going for the opposite thing of the virtue of loyalty, so we don't need to do that one. Talked about Pip-Boy. Together Forever is kind of cope. A little too deep in it. Collective Effort is another way to make your interaction section work to power up your board. And we're kind of doing a 5-tool player thing here, which is a thing I typically guard against, but right now we're like bracket 1 trying to push into bracket 2. Not a human. Abandoned Air Temple, just like as a land, would be very good for you. Luminarch Aspirant would be good for you. We don't want Noble Heritage. I think Duty Beyond Death kind of works for what you're doing as well. This should be one of your protection spells instead of something you currently have. Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, this is another, like, kind of related to a knight, so I can understand why, again, historically inaccurate, IMO, but I get it. This is non-humans only. You could try the Jite. I would not do the Jite until you're confident that you can actually start swinging in this deck, but once you're confident you can start swinging, then Lost Jite gets really good. Okay. So I think that's a lot of, like, human ads, and we're running short on time. So the other thing we have to confront is the card draw section, which kind of only barely exists. So cards that I think would be very, very good for this deck are mulches, right? Because Alesha can reanimate your really important human targets, and everything that's not a human is much, much less important. So Ripples of Undeath, yesterday, you know it, you love it. I recommend it to most black decks that come through here, and now it is being recommended to you. It will let you see 3 extra cards a turn. That's really the only fucking sales pitch I have to give it. There's that. Are there any other... I think Players works, and I think Players works better if you continue to up the interaction section. I think rather than Mentor of the Meek should almost certainly be in here. And I think on top of that, I would also recommend Tokaj is Welcome. They're, you know, youths in a tent. Revolutions have started that way. Because right now we have, like, a card draw section that is pretty entirely... Oh, we have it already. I'm so dumb. Fuck. Mentor of the Meek, then, at minimum. We're not making tokens. Snarling Gorehound won't really work because we're not at, like, power 1. I don't like the... Do not enjoy them. So I think Ripples, Inti becomes, like, pseudo card draw if you do get him in the deck. Another thing that would probably be helpful for you is Stargaze, just as a mana dump. This is another thing that is going to be a mulch rather than a true draw spell. You especially do not want to scry. If you're going to use things like Dire Sight, only take the Surveil options. You want Surveil, you want Look at Top whatever, put in hand, rest, go, engrave, or you want to do a wheel. Even then, you end up light on card draw, but I think those options are at least a little bit better. And then you have to dive a little bit more into long-term power buffs. I understand counters are going to hurt your heart a little bit because you're like, oh, I'm Alesha, they're going to be dying and then coming back. That's true. You have cut yourself off from basically every good anthem by restricting yourself to 2 or less, mana value 2 or power 2 or less, mana value 2 or less, and they got to be a human. So if you want to work inside the context of all those things, check out the +1/+1 counter options I gave you via equipments, via Inti, via maybe breaking the kindred to ally with one crazy hot vampire lady. And then you begin to reach something that can present a board state. But the amount of stuff we have that is just like a one-off, I get a little bit of power, I get no toughness, and it goes away at end of turn. That is killing you. That is killing you. The only thing this deck can afford to have that goes away at the end of turn is the protection stuff. And even then, you have stuff like Duty Beyond Death that will give you a lasting benefit. So, try all those changes. I hope they work. look into the Scryfall tags for the cards that I do mention if you want to do more research on your own. And I hope you enjoy.